Welcome back to Medinare. In this video, let's discuss about psychosocial theory, also known as theory of developmental tasks. This theory was put forth by Erik Erikson in the year 1950. He was a Danish, German, American developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst known for his theory on social development of human beings. According to this theory, an individual should pass through 8 developmental stages from birth to death. Each stage has various psychological crises which a person needs to resolve before moving to the next stage. If not done properly, he or she will struggle with the same issue later in life. Those 8 stages can be categorized according to the age as infancy, toddler, early childhood, elementary and middle school, adolescence, young adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. Stage 1. Infancy. This stage is from the age 0 to 1, which is from birth to 1 years of age, and the crisis is trust versus mistrust. At this age, the child basically depends on the mother or the caregiver for everything like food, love and affection, and trust develops on parents at this stage. If a child is handled and nurtured well, while their needs are met consistently by their parents, it will trust their parents as well as the environment in general. If handled badly, infant develops mistrust towards parents, environment, and even towards themselves. In this stage, infant has separation anxiety. Therefore, it's better to do the dental treatment with the parent present and preferably with the parent holding the child. Stage 2. Toddler. This stage is from the age 1 to 2 years. The crisis at this stage is autonomy versus doubt. In this stage, toddlers begin to walk, talk, use toilets, and also to think for themselves with will characteristics. If we are allowed to discover ourselves, then we develop self-confidence along with self-control. If parents encourage their child's use of initiative and reassure him when he makes mistakes, the child will develop confidence needed to cope with the future situations that require choice, control, and independence. If parents are overprotective or disapproving of the child's act of independence, he may begin to feel ashamed of his behavior or have too much self-doubt on his abilities. At this stage, the child moves away from the mother but will still need her in threatening situations. So, parents' presence is essential in the dental clinic. Also, dentists can obtain the cooperation from him by making him believe that the treatment is of his choice and not of the dentist or the parent. Stage 3. Early childhood. This stage is from the age 2 to 6 years and the crisis is initiative versus guilt, and purpose is the characteristic feature. Children at this stage begin to develop motor skills and engage in social interaction. If the parents are encouraging and also ensuring consistent discipline, the child takes initiative to imagine, broaden his or her skills, and to cooperate others. If not, the child develops guilt and becomes fearful, hangs on to the fringes of groups, and continues to depend on adults with restricted imagination. Going to the dentist at this stage can be considered a new and challenging adventure in which this child can experience success. Success is coping with the anxiety of visiting the dentist can help develop greater independence and produce a sense of accomplishment. If poorly managed, of course, a dental visit can contribute toward guilt that accompanies failure. Stage 4. Elementary and middle school years. This stage is from age 6 to 12 years and the crisis is industry versus inferiority with competent characteristic feature. School is the important event at this stage and children learn to make things, use tools and acquire the skills to be a worker and a potential provider, and they do all these while making the transition from the world of home into the world of peers. In Erikson's term, the child acquires industriousness and begins the preparation for entrance into the competitive world. The influence of parents as a role model decreases and the influence of peer group increases. If children get encouragement and approval from the teachers and peers for being productive, they develop sense of competence and become industrious. In other words, hardworking. Sense of inferiority arises if the teachers and peers are harsh and rejecting. Because of the child's drive for sense of industry and accomplishment, cooperation with treatment can be obtained. Children at this stage are motivated by improved acceptance or status from their peer group. This means that emphasizing how the teeth will look better as the child cooperates is more likely to be motivating factor than emphasizing a better dental occlusion. Stage 5. Adolescence. This stage is from the age 12 to 18 years, and the crisis is identity versus role confusion, and fidelity is the characteristic feature. In this stage, an adolescent undergoes intense physical and psychological development where a person gets a unique identity. In order to get that identity, they must integrate and get all the healthy resolutions of the earlier conflicts together. In this stage, physical ability changes and academic responsibilities increase, and career possibilities begin to be defined. Members of the peer group become important role models, and the values and tastes of parents and other authority figures are likely to be rejected. If the adolescent solves this conflict successfully, he will come out of this stage with a strong identity and ready to plan for the future. If the adolescent doesn't solve the conflict earlier, then he or she will sink into the confusion, unable to make decisions and choices, and his role in life in general. As this progresses, an inability to separate from the group indicates some failure in identity development. This in turn can lead to a poor sense of direction for the future, confusion regarding one's place in society, and low self esteem. During dental treatment, behavior management of an adolescent can be challenging. Orthodontic treatment will be done to them according to the approval of the peer group, as parents' choices will be rejected in order to remain one of the crowd. Stage 6. Young adulthood. This stage is from age 19 to 40 years. The crisis is intimacy versus isolation, and love is the characteristic feature. At this stage, love relationships are vital. Erikson said, "No matter how successful you are with your work, you are not developmentally complete until you are capable of intimacy." Adults who are willing to compromise and sacrifice to maintain a relationship will have a successful development of intimacy, and it can happen only if they have achieved this sense of identity in their adolescent stage. If they fail to achieve sense of identity prior in their life, they will fear commitment, feel isolated, and will be unable to depend on anybody in the world. In a dental point of view, this group of people mainly concentrate on orthodontic and aesthetic treatment because the external appearance is very important as it helps in attainment of intimate relation. Stage 7. Middle adulthood. This stage is from the age 40 to 65 years, and the crisis is creativity or generativity versus stagnation. And the characteristic feature is care. At this stage, people develop an ability to look outside oneself and care for others through parenting. The next generation is guided in short and by nurturing and influencing one's own children, and by supporting the network of social services needed to ensure the next generation's success. The opposite personality trait in adults is stagnation, which is characterized by self-indulgence and self-centered behavior. Stage 8. Late adulthood. This stage is from the age of 65 years till death, and the crisis is integrity versus despair, and the characteristic feature is wisdom. This is the time where old age people reflect upon one's own life and seeing it filled with pleasure and satisfaction, or disappointments and failures. If the other 7 psychological crises which we have discussed earlier have been successfully resolved, the mature adult develops the peak of adjustment, which refers to integrity. The opposite of this is despair. This is often expressed as disgust and unhappiness, and frequently accompanied by a fear that death will occur before a life change that might lead to integrity can be accomplished. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Do like this video and subscribe to Medinare for more. Thanks for watching.